Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos.
Sport greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonapan.
Austin, of course, today is a loaded package. Carry Benzema, 100 million quid. That's the report flying around. It's gone to Al Ittihad. I mean, Saudi Arabia, they are getting all the star players. I was telling Dumnodio Konta, before I came on set, that if they have a Champions League and they want to have some of these clubs play in the UEFA Champions League, people will obviously want to tune in and watch these top stars because you have Cristiano Ronaldo and, of course, now you have Karim Benzema. And in the summer, there's a likelihood that Al Hilal, they want to get Lionel Messi. I mean, that's going to be a star-studded league, you would say.
Saudi Arabia are trying to tell the world that, look, we can make this your choice, this region, your choice destination.
Yeah.
And they're using sports to do it. And that's a clear message to Africa that, look, Africa is also blessed with rich, tourism. And we can actually use sports also. But they need to be careful. Remember, China had this sort of idea. And at some point, we thought the Chinese Super League was going to be the next big thing after sliced bread. It didn't particularly happen for them, but why Saudi Arabia might just work, Cecilia, is because they're not just attracting top-tired footballers, they're also doing the same thing for boxing. For instance, they've signed a contract with Alexander Usyk that all of his fights will be done in that region, and that's massive. So Saudi Arabia showing us the way to go with sports tourism.
And it's not just boxing. Golf, remember when the LIV Cup came up, and of course you have the PGA and all of them talking about the fact that they don't want to be part of it, but right now they have merged. So I mean, that country is doing something wonderful. When you have the money, you have to spend it, and the best way to put it is actually in sport, because you make more money as you're spending so much money in sport. All right, this is what the show is looking like tonight. We'll be talking about that. Karim Benzema, his move to Al Ittihad. Also, we'll talk about the UEFA Conference League, Europa Conference League. West Ham, they are trying to get their first title in how many years? I'll try to, Austin will remind me of that later on the program. And of course, the NPFL Super Six for men and women is currently going on. For the men, of match day 2 decided on Monday, and for the women, it started today in Asaba. Delta State, the men is taking place in Lagos. We'll give you a lowdown of all the games that went down, both for the men and also for the women. The drama that actually took place between Rivers United and Remo Stars is a match made for the Stars. Also, we'll talk about what's wrong with Tottenham, what's happening to them right now. Also, the invasion of the Australian Ange Postecoglou is joining that club. And of course, you know what Levy has been talking about, how, he's someone who can actually, groom the young boys, have their philosophy and everything. Remember, when was the last time we won the trophy? I can't remember. It's been a long, long time. So these are many more we'll be talking about on Sport Tonight. So, but then we're going to start off with results coming from the NPFL Super Six. That's Nigeria Premier Football League Championship playoffs. Games that were decided on Monday right here in Lagos, precisely at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos, Onikon. Some of the games, we'll have them right there on the screen talking about. We'll start with the results from the games that happened. On match day 1 result, Eyimba and Remo Stars ended 2-2. It was also dramatic in this particular game. Sunshine Stars and Rivers United, it ended 1-1 in favor of Rivers United, the champions. Benin Insurance and Lobby Stars, it was goalless. Flip over to what happened on match day 2. That's where we'll base our discussions on tonight's show. Lobby Stars and Eyimba, it was Eyimba getting their first victory, and Rivers United and Remo Stars, it was 2-2, and Benin Insurance and Sunshine Stars, he ended 1-1. Yes, Benin Insurance still unbeaten in all competitions this season, but the draws are getting too much. So that's how we're going to start up the discussion on tonight's show. Austin, we'll start up with of course, Rivers United and Remo Stars. That particular game, it was drama. I know you were tuning in, you were watching, because the good thing we are having right now in NPFL is the fact that you're having all the games on TV. So when you have some of these games on TV, you have the opportunity to actually watch and, you do your analysis and also know the players better.
That's what it is, and we lauded the interim management committee, the IMC, when they told us that the Super Six will be on TV. And shout out to all the clubs. What they did was, okay, so you don't break the quality the host broadcaster just only provided the feeds and they logged onto it. So we're now sport for choice. Sometimes I stream this channel. I don't like it. I go to Bendel Insurance official channel. I don't like it. I go to Remo Stars till I see what I want. That's what we're talking about now. They're beginning to treat football as business, and it's very good for the league. For instance, that game between Rivers United and Remo Stars, Cecilia, that's not the sort of game I come and tell you, and you don't have any idea about what happened, because it was drama all the way, late drama. Remo Stars scored in the dying minutes, and they thought it was going to end, and the moment they blinked, they got punished by Rivers United. Champion stuff right there. But let's go back to match day, to day one. We said it on this show that it was going to be competitive, and Aimba and Remo Stars gave us a competitive start. That one ended 2-2. It was a beautiful game of football. It's getting to tell people now that, look, yes, we might not have plugged in some holes to make football attractive in Nigeria, but the play is competitive. Can I say shout out to the people who are putting together the Mobolaji Johnson Arena? That's the Unicon Stadium. Look at it, looking so good. Cecilia, I tweeted that this stadium looks better than 80% of the stadiums I've seen at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. And that's fact right there. And that's what I want, in Nigeria. That's the standard that we should keep. Fantastic free kick on your screen right there, telling you that, look, this is the NPFL. We're looking for the champions, and these guys are giving us beautiful football. So shout out to Remo Stars and all of the guys who are, giving us good reasons to talk about football in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's the way it is. And of course, we will not be doing all the discussion alone, because Kehinde Idris, he was right there at the stadium when these games were taking place. He's right here in Lagos studio. Kehinde, it's good to have you join us.
It's good to be here. It's good to, share the atmosphere, electrifying, very beautiful. And the most beautiful thing is the fact that football is the biggest winner in all of this. Yes, you can talk about the individuals, the clubs and all of that, but football at the end of the day was the biggest winner, and we enjoyed every bit of every piece and everything that happened, match day 1, match day 2. And, you were also there.
Yeah, fans were kept on the edge of their seats on that game. I mean, when they started, when Iyima Owango actually scored that goal, we felt, okay, long-range goal by Rivers United. That's how they started. Yeah. And it was okay. And then, just like you're thinking, okay, what's going to happen? They went into, It went into the second half, and then, as usual, Daniel, the coach of Remo Stars, brought in Junior Locos. I remember what happened when he brought him in the game against Imba.
He got a goal.
He got a goal, just the first touch. Yeah. And then when he came on this particular game, also the tempo changed.
I think he opened up everything.
Somehow he opened up everything. Yeah. Then they got a goal, and then what happened next? They scored again, and while they were jubilating,
another goal.
When I spoke with the coach, he said he didn't know when the equalizer actually came. Yeah. Because they were still in that euphoria, celebrating. 94th minute, that was when...
95th minute.
95th minute.
And then in the 96th minute, there was the equalizer. There is a man sitting close to me, he said that while he was still thinking about when Adebayo, wearing the number 10 for Remo Stars, pulled the trigger to score that long ranger, as the second goal, I was still thinking... I just saw him pull the trigger. I did not see the ball move. The next thing is in the net. And I'm still thinking of that. And the next thing I'm hearing is there is a goal. 30 seconds was the difference between these goals. And there is a saying in football. It's like a philosophy. The time you are most vulnerable is when you just scored. Yeah. The moment you score, the first 1 minute, you're as vulnerable as possible. That's euphoria. You're still living in there. And if that team, the opponent, can take advantage, they can also they can get the goal. And that was what happened with Remo Stars. But the drama with the goals and all of that is nothing compared to the ball we saw. Defending champion, and then Remo can be called the Samba team of Nigeria. They play beautiful football. Saw it against Imba, we're seeing it against Rivers United. These are big teams, getting 2 goals, fantastic. And you just talked about the changes. Junior Lokosa came with a different dimension. Beautiful, all the way. Coaches' tactics, Stanley Egoma, also doing so well. But you're talking all of the 3 games that happened on the day, Imba getting 1-0 win over Lobby Stars. The third game for the day, Bendel Insurance, it started with, before everybody could see it and get themselves gathered, They've already scored a goal. And it's 1-0 up, and we're waiting. But the team that knows how to draw, I think this is one thing insurance have a lot in their coffers right now, is the fact that, they can always find a draw at the end of the day. And then Sunshine Stars drew it, ended 1-1. But the floodlights was so nice. The drama in every game is so beautiful.
I think we'll get to that shortly. Let's get reactions from that game between Rivers United and Remo Stars, starting with the camp from Rivers United, reactions from the players and also the coach, Stanley Neguma.
I feel we need to put in more effort to at least get a win. But we pray and come back. We pray that we'll bounce back better. It will be better. We'll come back stronger. Yes, it will help us a lot because we need to retain our championship. We deserve it. We deserve it.
What are the things you guys can do differently in the next game?
We'll get back to our drawing board and come back better.
Yes, I think it was a difficult game. I think we are lucky, but although we started well and we showed high quality more than the Remo Stars, but somewhere along the line, I think they come up with their game and they took advantage of the lead, and I was very happy we could be ourselves and fight back, and we got the 1 point that can lead us to a better result next time. Everybody was happy, but for me, in this kind of a game, once you come up, at least you got a point, you will be very happy. So I was comfortable with the point for we to forge ahead in the next game. For we to win the trophy, we just have to win every game that comes our way. I think we'll start from the next game, and I know we are going to get it right.
It was a good experience. It was a good game. The Remo team came stronger. They were very strong, but when we started the game, we had the game on our hand. When we scored the first goal, the game was in our hand. Till the end of first half. Second half, Remo came stronger, and then when we lost two players, Nima and Noja, from the game, it affected our game plan, which enabled Remo to score, to equalize, and then went ahead. So one good thing that I have in my team boys is that they were able to equalize almost instantly. That character was good enough for them, because as champions, you say never say die. You cannot give up immediately like that. Today, well, we planned to get the 3 points, but unfortunately, I will say fortunately, we got 1 point. We have to go back to the drawing board and plan for the next game.
Okay, what are the things you actually want to do differently, talking about the next game now?
Yeah, we have to look at our opponents. No two games are the same. We look at our opponents and then see their strong points and know their weak points. We also use it to make our tactical plan, so that by the next game, it will be easy for us.
Yeah, you just listened to Mark Gibson, number 9 for Rivers United, the forward. Festus, of course, the captain of the team, and Stanley Neguma, the coach of the team. Austin, from what Rivers United coach is talking about, he was really happy that they finally won, because they thought they were going to lose that game, that dying minute, after Remo Stars equalized.
If they had lost that game against Remo Stars, then if you take a look at the table now, you would understand why Stanley Neguma is thanking all of the gods from Rivers State that ensured that they did not lose that game. But shout out to Remo Stars for fighting. But then it showed one thing, that look, it's not over until it is over. Yes, you scored a late goal. You need to keep the concentration. I wanted this Super Six to be competitive, and yes, it has been competitive. Aside Eimba and Rivers United that have recorded wins, 4 teams are still fighting to record their first win. So Stanley Neguma will be happy, because that ensures that they are within touching distance. You listen to Festus, they want to retain the league title. That's champions mentality, and that's what might just do it for them. But shout out to Remo Stars. They've played 2 difficult matches back to back. Started with Eimba, didn't lose, 2-2. Played Rivers United, didn't lose, 2-2. Coach Daniel Ogumode, I knew in his countenance he really wanted them to win, but that didn't happen. Let's listen to him, and then we'll come back on the program.
We said to ourselves before the game, the only way to be champion is to defeat the champion. They are hard nuts. They give us reason why they are the champion of the NPFL. We want to overthrow them. That is our mission in the tournament. They are going to be the toughest opponent for us, no doubt about that. In the first half, we were full of too much respect for them. They've got so much energy, more physically built than my boys. And we know for sure the only way to overpower them is using our weapon, which is our tactical prowess. And that is what we tried to do in the second half. Lift up the game, set the house on fire, and we see how much escape we can have. And maybe they were lucky to go with this. It's painful, it's a bitter pill for us, but we move on as a group. I didn't see the equalizer, unfortunately. I couldn't describe it, not until I watched the replay. I think I never saw it. Like you said, maybe we overjubilate, maybe. But imagine, in every facet of life, we are meant to learn. The kids have learned, we have all learned, we exhausted too much of our energy jubilating, and we couldn't defend the goal. It's painful. We have 9 points to grab, and that is our target now, to grab maximum 9 points. And that is what is most important for us.
So what will you be telling your players going to your next game to start?
To be focused. You have 2
points already from 2 games.
To be focused, to keep their heads above water, to never give up until final whistle.
So that's it, Coach. Daniel responding after Remo Stars 2-2 draw against Rivers United. Let me go to Kehinde Idris in Lagos. Kehinde, Remo Stars, they've shown us that they can compete and they can fight. You think they can still push all the way in the Super Six?
Yeah, they can. With what Remo showed us, I think the 2 teams they played, in the first 2 match days, quote and unquote now, it's not something you can take to the bank. I think they played the 2 best teams. The table says that. Then also the football on the pitch also, showed that Enyimba and Rivers United have been very fantastic. There's a reason why Rivers United are the defending champion. There is a reason why Enyimba also finished where they finished in the regular season, and they are doing what they are doing right now. So Remo had faced probably the hardest part of the whole, competition right now, because the 3 other teams, Bendel Insurance, Lobby Stars, and Sunshine, no disrespect, I think I see Remo Stars having a little edge over these teams and getting, maximum points. But you know how it is. As much as it's Rivers United they drew against, the manner at which they drew that game is something they will hardly forgive themselves. I was having a chit chat with Cecilia, who was also there yesterday. Ogumode, the coach of Remo Stars, had a huge argument, well, I'll call it a fight, with the player who didn't do that simple job of clearing the ball that later went to the Rivers United player who lobbed the ball in and it became a goal. The young man nearly broke into tears saying, "Coach loves me, why is it, this is how he feels." The emotions are running. Yeah. But I'm sure at the time of the interview, he had already gathered himself, because I saw him later coming out to watch the Insurance and Sunshine game with all smiles and all of that. He understands we'll come again, another time. But for me, pushing forward, I think Remo Stars still stand a good chance. If they play the same way, I know 2 games are not the same, but if they play the same way, very resilient, skillful, beautiful to watch, against Enyimba and Rivers, they played it the same way against the likes of Lobby, Sunshine, and Bendel Insurance. I think probably we might be seeing Remo Stars gathering 9 points in those 3 games.
We'll see. I think they celebrated that second goal too much.
Yeah, it looks like it. Even the fans did.
But hey, they needed to just stay focused. It wasn't over. And remember, Rivers United had a clear chance with Chiamaka Madu. He didn't take it. And right after that, Remo Stars scored, and they thought that it was done. No, you need to always stay focused. Life lesson. Cecilia, I don't want to jump on this one, but I think we should just take a listen to the reactions coming from Sunshine Stars and Bendel Insurance. That was also another competitive game at the NPFL Championship Super Six.
The backhand, he gets this.
It's amazing. It's not easy for me to get a goal in this tournament. As you can see, the championship is a very tight one. For me to get a goal is a plus for me and also for the team. It's unfortunate he entered draw. Well, on Wednesday we come again stronger. We hope we get something out of Wednesday's game. I will not say it's fatigue. It's one of those things. Like I said, we'll go back to the drawing board. I hope hopefully Wednesday something different will show up. Yeah, we'll have to do relaxation. I'm not the coach. The coach knows what he will do for us to get more goals and come back stronger on Wednesday.
I'm indifferent about it.
I'm sure you guys saw the game. That's all I can say. I can't say anything about the game. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened there. I just want to see Nigerian league as a league that should come up in every aspect, because that's all I can say. We create chances, we don't score. That's it. Nothing else. We score goals. That's it.
There's something you're going to tell your boys.
That's the technical issues that some will do here. We've been trying to work on them. It's an inexperienced team. It's an inexperienced team. I want people to appreciate that fact. Yeah, it's not a good thing that we are creating chances, they are not scoring, and it's coming back to haunt us. But hey, that's the game of football. You don't build a champion overnight. You have to pass through a lot of hard work, and you have to pass through rudiments. So that's it. It's sad we couldn't get 3 points, but
it wasn't an easy game for us, considering the fact that we are playing against a team that has not lost all through the season. That means they are a very strong side. And again, it was a bit difficult for us because we considered too early in the game. But it's a very good one from the boys. They reacted very well. We didn't concede the second goal. And I think, again, we made a change in the second half, which turned the tide of the game in our favor, and we got the equalizing goal. It was a painful loss on Saturday against Rivers United. But the players, they made up their mind that they wanted to cover up for the loss on Saturday with this game. The aim was to take the 3 points at stake. But, we played a very strong side, a team that is well coached. And picking a point from a position of 0 points, at least, is a very good 1 point.
Welcome back to Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're reviewing everything that has gone down in the NPFL Championship playoffs. Cecilia, why is the NWF into my head? You see, I love women's football so much. And you listen to two top coaches in the NPFL. And of course, Coach Monday Odigi. A beautiful game of football between Bendel Insurance and Sunshine Stars. I love that goal scored by Divine Iwachuku. And yes, confirmed what I said at the start of this competition, that it will indeed be competitive, Cecilia. All right, let's look at the match day 3 games that will be decided on a Wednesday. We have Ben Insurance and Eibar playing the first game. So the 7 p.m. games for Ben Insurance are over after the first 2 games that they played by 7 p.m. So you have the game between Ben Insurance and Eibar. That first game will start. That's the game you have first starting at 2 p.m. the usual time. Remo Stars and Sunshine Stars. This will be by 4:30 p.m. And Rivers United and Lobby Stars will wrap up the games for match day 3, and that game will be by 7 p.m. And of course, where the games are taking place happens to be Onikon Stadium. That's where all these games will be taking place. So before we leave NPFL, let's just take a look at how the table is looking like. I mean, the teams, when you have the champions, you understand these guys are perennial winners. They know what it means to win the league. That's why you have Enyimba. After 2 games, they are top with 4 points, 1 draw, of course no loss yet, and you have the goal difference of 2, 3 and 1. Rivers United, of course, after 2 games, same with numbers of points. You have Remo Stars, of course, 2 from the 2 draws they had. Same with Better Insurance from the 2 draws that they also had. Sunshine Stars 1 after losing the opening game. They do the second. The Lobby Stars, of course, they draw the first game goalless against Insurance, and that's the draw that they had in the second game, and that's why they're having that draw that they had. The second one they lost to Rivers, and that's why they lost to Enyimba. That's why you're having that 1 point for them. So Austin, you were eager to talk about NWFL, and that's where we are right. Okay, yeah. Cecilia, but before we get into this NWFL that I wanted to talk about so bad, let's just use 1 minute to talk about what Coach Mondo Odigi struggled to talk about. The scramble. Appreciate it. Yeah, he tried so hard to say, I didn't see it. I hope you saw it and all of that. Then Insurance carried Idris, their first match, they thought they had a penalty call. I think it was against Lobby, and it wasn't given. I think it was a bit of a shove on Deputy Cheta. And then the Sunshine Stars goal, to an extent, he was trying to debate it. What do you think about officiating at the Super Six?
I think officiating has been good. See, there is nowhere there is 100% officiating. There is still the issue of the referee at the center of the field talking about the Europa final, where the Roma fans kept, doing a whole lot of talking, and now UEFA is looking into it. So there is nowhere it has always been 100%. Trust me, let me give you a scenario. Yesterday, Remo Stars versus Rivers United, where I had to move around at some point. Rivers United fans were saying the referee is a pro Remo Stars. I was with Remo Stars, and they are saying the referee is a Rivers United fan. So you can see both fans feeling in their own right that the referee is favoring the other team. And if you're seated in one place, you would think, oh, because I'm with Remo, he's favoring Rivers. But when I went around, I saw that both teams, both fans felt it was favoring the other. That tells you how well, you know, the fans, when emotions get to roll, you know, so it's been good for me. Officiating has been nice, whether it's a female referee or a male referee. I've loved it, and I love the fact that they've been fearless. And this is what we wanted. We wanted a case where you play football, forget you have to mind this, man. Play good football, get the result you need, and come back. And I love, whether he said so, I think he still had the mind that we still did not do enough to get all 3 points, and that was why I mentioned experience. So right now they will come again, not minding whether there is a referee favoring anybody. Play better football and get better points. That's it.
That's what is important. If you score a goal and if it's legit, there's no way it's going to chuck it off. That's just the thing. But I love what Morimadu did. You know, that game between she was fantastic. I mean, she was able to control the game. The bad tempers flying everywhere, but she was able to control it all. All right, NWFL will get our attention right now. Austin was eager to go there. Finally, right? So we also have the premiership playoffs. Super Six is taking place in Asaba, Delta State. So these are the groupings. The draws was done a day before the game started, just like you have NPFL. I don't know what the organizers are trying to do with the league. But Group A, that's where FC Robo Queens, Bayelsa Queens, and Rivers Angels. Group B, you have Delta Queens, Confluence Queens, and Edo Queens. Games that were played today, 2 matches every day. You have a rest day the next day. That's how they've scheduled everything. Let's take a look at the games that were played today. FC Robo Queens and Rivers Angels. So Rivers Angels getting all the goals. Efium, Chiamaka Kuchuku scoring the first goal, 36 minutes for Adobe Oka, 79th minute, making it 2. For Delta Queens, it was Efium Ekmeyong, 19th minute and the 90th minute, and Confluence Queens got a consolation from Vera Samuel. When Delta Queens scored first, we were thinking, okay, what's going to happen? But somehow, Vera Samuel gave something, and then you're having, that's how it ended. For Confluence Queens, it was Martha Peter that actually got the equalizer for Confluence Queens. Then you now have Vera Samuel scoring before Efium Ekmeyong completing that 3-1 for Delta Queens. That's the game for match day 2. Now, the thing about Nigeria Women's Premiership this season is that you have the prize money. The winner is going to go home with 10 million naira. This is courtesy of Delta State government. They are the ones hosting it, and of course, they are the ones that are putting the prize money. Last year, when we had sponsors, I was really happy, excited with that, thinking it was going to continue, but somehow it's not continuing. So just maybe when they constitute because presently now there is really no board. I think it's the end of July we'll have a board constituted. Maybe when you have a proper board, because we'll have, maybe the sponsors will come in and they'll hit the ground up and running. For the first prize, 10 million. The second prize is 5, and the third place will earn 3 million to go home. So Austin NWFL Super Six is on. It was brought forward 5 days earlier than scheduled because, according to the chief operating officer who is in charge right now, she mentioned that when they got the approval from NFF, and because CAF had to send a letter to them saying they need to submit all the teams taking part by June 12, and that's the reason they quickly had to, shift it forward. And then because the zone, the WAFU B playoffs will be in August, so they want that to happen in August. So they want all the teams. And I was asking myself, why do they not have a timetable? Because you don't just come up and say submit this team at a particular time when these countries already have their calendar, scheduled for them. But then they had to shift it forward, and that's why you're having the Super Six taking place at this time. Same time you are having the one for the NPFL.
And we love the double whammy, by the way. But it's a reminder again that the Confederation of African Football must start planning properly, because countries are tired of always shifting and making readjustments. For CAF, if you check the NPFL, it's the same thing. Now they've taken it into women's football. You know these things. At the start of every year, there's a calendar. There's a calendar in Europe, and sacrosanct, unless we have a worldwide disaster, just like COVID-19, for instance, that calendar is sacrosanct. That's what we always say about football administration, not just football administration, sports administration in Africa. So the Confederation of African Football thumbs down for you tonight. Get your planning right so countries can, actually follow that calendar and plan properly for their football. But I love it, Cecilia. We talked about the four connects at the WAFU. They were dominant until losing the final to Ghana. And now we're back talking about women's football, the Super Six in Nigeria. This is what it should be about. We should keep the conversations going. Particularly, this is the year for the development of women's football worldwide. The attention that FIFA is giving to women's football, Nigeria must not be left behind. Our darling Asisa Toshola was winning the Champions League with Barcelona, women's football. We love it. The Four Cornets are doing beautiful things at the WAFU. Women's football, we love it. And now we're talking about the NWFL Super Six. Yes, we have the NPFL Super Six, but hey, everybody can come out here. It's an open market. So I like the fact that we're having these talks, but I don't like the fact that CAF is not planning properly, and that is disrupting the calendar of teams. So shout out to teams in the NWFL. I like the story. It confirms again. Cecilia, when I talk, I don't know, people should listen. I said Rivers Angels that understand competition. Didn't I say it? And when they get into competition mode, they activate their beast mode. And we saw that against Remo. The Otter Queens had a fantastic season. And if you ask me, I'm still shocked they didn't make it to the finals of the Federation Cup for women. And they needed to prove their superiority. And they did today 3-1. So yes, women's football also getting us talking, and it's competitive as ever.
Yeah, it is competitive. We mentioned everything. I just hope that by the time WAFU B women's qualifier starts in August, we'll have a worthy representative there, because the winners from there will definitely represent the West African zone at the CAF Champions League. And hopefully they can actually increase the number so we don't start playing this
whole
qualifiers.
I must
the numbers of teams participating. So maybe 16 or something. Then
exactly. It's very doable. And it will border around what Austin touched on. I think CAF is so consistently inconsistent with planning. See, in the Champions League, the whole talk is still ongoing because Al Ali are not leaving that case. And it's been 2 seasons ago. Where you had to wait to get the final 4 teams. It was in the semi-final. You now declared where the final will be played. Fortunately for that team, they were still in the in the final 4, and they made it to the final. So the final was played in their home. This is not what you do out there.
You would have just decide. So if you favors any team, it's fine. Like what NWFL did.
So that's what. But for the NWFL, something I will just put out here. Nigerians. Then I'll bring it to Lagosians and then Deltans. That please go out there. We still have empty stadium and all of that, or stadia in this case. Go out there, watch games. It's beautiful watching the championship for the men. It's also beautiful watching the championship for the women. Let's go out there, support these people. There is something different, beautiful that the fans bring whenever these players see them in the stands. So we should embrace, all of our competitions.
Yeah, just quickly, myself and Austin were talking about Karim Benzema agreeing a deal with Saudi Arabia champions Al Ittihad, owned by, of course, the country's public investment fund, also the owners of Newcastle United for, reportedly 100 million euros. He's 35, 354 goals for Real Madrid. Trophies, how many? Yeah, I lost count. 25 trophies, Champions League 5, La Liga 4. So this guy moving to Saudi Arabia, that's the new Mecca, right?
Yeah, it's time to go for gratuity.
You think Messi is also going to join?
It looks like probably we'll have 3 big names coming from the La Liga going to Saudi Arabia. I would have Ronaldo somewhere, Benzema somewhere, Messi somewhere. I think the entire cameras will turn towards Saudi Arabia. But it's nice. See, sometimes you can overestimate achievement and all of that, but money is also needed, because retirement is something that will come to you, and you understand, earnings are needed because you still have a long life to live. So probably they are planning on cashing in while you still can.
All right, let's wrap it up with Europa League, the games that will be decided of course, on Wednesday night. That's West Ham and Fiorentina. And that stadium is in Prague is about 20,000. So you have so many West Ham United fans not having the ticket. People are buying ticket for £1,400. Yeah, that's money. When you love your club, you do everything to get it. Austin, we'll sign up with this one.
Yeah, and the reports coming from Prague says that security has been beefed up for this one. You asked me to make some of the statistics and what's in it for West Ham in this one. This is West Ham's first European final since 1976. That's 47 years ago. And their first cup final, I think, for 43 years. So everyone is just talking about what is in this for West Ham, but they're forgetting Fiorentina, on the other hand, can actually use this. And this is where UEFA, they've always said that they want to create more competitions that will give smaller teams a winning mentality. So this is very good for West Ham and Fiorentina. And if you take a look at their run in the Conference League, they were both, very fantastic with their plays. They were resilient, and that's why they are playing in tomorrow's final in Prague. So we're expecting a good game of football, and hopefully let the best team win. I know you will tell me now that we have to go. I know we have to go. So that's the show in London. I'm Austin O'Connor, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, Kaine Idris, thank you so much for coming.
It's lovely being here. I'm here to watch the Europa Conference final.
West Ham, time to win trophy. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a fantastic night rest.